It paid for this service that we're using to do this stream.
Gomer's just rolling in on his Lamborghini, you know.
Yeah,
Brought to you by
talking about inside
What's
baseball.
with all you
and
with
stuff.
personal assistants and Porsches?
You guys know
Just-
anybody hiring?
Just lighting his cigarettes with $100 bills.
That's right.
Mr. Monopoly Man.
I'm sharing out the show, guys. Give me a second. This is the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show. It was a very light news week.
As in nothing happened.
David, do you want to talk about your faves?
Nothing comic related happened. Some other big stuff happened, but
Sure, why not? I only got like 2 really big favorite things that happened.
Well, go ahead. What are your 2 favorite things that happened from the year 2020?
Okay, comic book wise, Scumbag.
Oh, good choice.
My gosh, that is like one of the best love letters to comic books I have ever had read.
Did you notice that every issue has had a different artist?
Yes.
That's a very unique way of presenting a comic, but it didn't really bother me like at all.
But it is some of the best stuff that I have read all year. Scumbag and Firepower. I love Firepower.
Not good enough for me, man.
Oh man, I mean, just that trade by itself. It's supposed to be, I guess, like whatever the free comic book day book was, which
the trade. Yeah,
is like the first 10 to 12 pages of this book is nothing but storytelling through the art.
Yeah, it's very well done.
It's kind of cooled off now in these later issues, but then first couple of issues were fantastic.
Fantastic.
Well,
this show that was very good, David. Good 2020.
Yeah.
2 things. Anyway, 2 good things out of the whole year. That's about average for everybody.
Well, this has not been. I'm not going to say. I mean, if you want me to add on to it, I think
not at all. Not at all.
Between Soul and Wonder Woman 84 being offered on streaming, I think we got like a better presentation from Soul than we did from Wonder Woman.
I had a great time with Soul.
I did watch Soul.
Soul is great.
Very good.
It
was good, but like all Pixar movies are good, and I wouldn't say
no, not all Pixar movies are good.
No, which Pixar
David, what are you spreading these lies for? Starting off 2021.
Okay, the Super Spy one. That one's okay.
Cars 2 is actually a very good James Bond spoof.
I did not like Cars 2.
Cars 2 is bad by Pixar standards. But if like, you're just looking at it like objectively from like
just, still okay.
If the Pixar name wasn't on it,
the
it would have been
technology they used was impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, this show, there was not much news this week. So during the news segment, we're just going to talk about what we're looking forward to in 2021.
I am better prepared for that than I am my favorite.
Taylor is just like MCU D+. That's all it is letters and a symbol. Anyway, I do have some food news, as always. And no, it's not Hawaiian King rolls being sued because they're not made in Hawaii. That was on the short list.
That's the thing.
There's a class action lawsuit.
That's awesome.
We do have
a curiosity. Where are they made?
I don't know.
Probably in New York City.
You probably don't want them made in Hawaii.
It's just in French too. It's not made in France.
That's true, but like we got layers and layers of lies here. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Taylor, this is a fucking conspiracy. Damn it.
Well, it's like is ramen really ramen if it's made outside of Japan?
It's not fucking like champagne, bro.
Have you seen the ramen that they make in Japan compared to the ramen they make elsewhere?
What?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's more of an issue of like American corporations like mass producing shittier versions of the authentic article.
Oh well, yeah.
This doesn't even involve American corporations. There was this like legit video on YouTube by a German cook.
Oh.
He was talking about like, when I lived in Japan, I learned a lot about Japanese cooking, but there's this thing that ramen is not truly ramen if it's not from Japan.
Well, I'm proving wrong with
but he was like saying, but I make this ramen with German ingredients, local German ingredients, and I consider it to be a true ramen. And he gets like this Japanese cook on there to come visit him in Germany.
He's like,
and the Japanese cook is like, this Japanese cook is like, this is very good.
It sounds like that was selling something. Was it selling something there?
3 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, we also have a moment of destruction.
Is this involving the Netflix?
Adam can speak.
Gomer
to that.
didn't watch it, so I can't. Really
I watched it. I watched it because I figured you two would talk about it.
Well, we'll talk about it then, even though I haven't seen it. And then we have.
We won't get too specific for you.
Yeah, we will. It's fine. I don't mind spoilers. And despite the fact that there were not many comics this week, I still have a top 3, as does everyone else. I do not have an honorable mention, just FYI.
I have a couple.
But
you were able to get 3 comics this week?
We will be doing a top 5 at some point in January in 2021. And we'll be doing a Geekterion collection too. We just got to figure all that out. I need
a lot of room to work with there all of 2021.
I need to communicate better. I had a long thread with the bullies the other day. All we did was bitch about how terrible fandom is. And I totally forgot to talk about the actual stuff that we need to talk about. So awesome. Let's get on with the show.
Forgetting shit. Yeah.
I got a new intro. It's pretty good.
What's different about this intro?
Here it comes.
Okay, that's not good.
It's true.
What was that from?
Oh, come on, man. You don't know where that's from?
That was from Godzilla.
No.
Dark Knight.
There you go. I knew somebody would get it.
That's right when he pulls out the bazooka.
Dude, spoiler alert, it's actually Gordon driving that truck.
Yeah, it is.
Mind blown. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back to the first episode of This Geek in Comics for the new year, 2021. I'm your co-host,
Happy
Gomer.
New Year, everybody.
I'm your co-host, Gomer, Adam Normal, Taylor, a.k.a. David. And this is our Geekers Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show.
We're going to talk shit. Segment 1 is basically just what we did, this week in the nerdy stuff. I did a few things, mostly watching TV. Cobra Kai. Anybody else? Cobra Kai.
Nah, man, my Netflix time was reserved for Transformers.
Oh, man. That's why I didn't watch Transformers, dude.
It's not like you don't have all the time in the world, Gomer.
Oh, my gosh, this guy. He acts like I just doing nothing all the time.
I mean, really, what are you doing?
It's true. But yeah, Cobra Kai.
Was he wrong?
Freaking rad, dude. No, he's not really wrong. Cobra Kai is rad, dude. It should be cheesy because it hangs so much on nostalgia.
Well,
but
I haven't seen the third season yet, but
there's like these twisted reflections of the modern day.
They do a great job. Like, you're there because of the nostalgia, and they know it, but they don't just rest on that completely. It's actually compelling. They're actually
telling its own story.
Yeah, and they're all like the whole, especially in the first season, when you're looking at things from Johnny's perspective, he does brings up a lot of good points, about how that was an illegal kick, and also my girlfriend, this new guy comes in out of nowhere, and my girlfriend, he's like hitting on my girlfriend. That's kind of a good point if you look at it from his perspective. Danny was kind of an asshole to him,
Yeah. That whole Daniel LaRusso with a dick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good show. But I also watched The Invisible Man, finally, the new one.
It's actually not bad.
With the girl from The Handmaid's Tales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sleeping with the enemy with a sci-fi twist.
Pretty much. It's got some really good cinematography. Great
gaslighting metaphor that I love so much, dude. It
was a good modernization of the old horror movie. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the original Invisible Man?
Yeah, man. When he wraps himself up in the bandages and
man, he goes on a rampage. Like trains are falling off the rails and the cliffs and the ravines.
It's great.
And he's just like cha-chaing his way down the street.
Cha-cha. So what did everybody do this week? What did you guys do? Anything cool? Anything nerdy?
For Christmas, I got Jedi Fallen Order, which came out last year, but I'm just playing it now.
I heard that's really good.
Fun. It's pretty fun. It's basically Tomb Raider Star Wars, but
it's a platformer.
I'm down for that, though. That sounds
and that's
cool.
Not necessarily a knock. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Tomb Raider's one of the most
That's what Star Wars does, man. It steals, the good ideas from other things and just puts the Star Wars label on it.
I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
My kid downloaded the demo for Squadrons. He hated it. He did not like it. I watched him play it, and it was actually kind of hard to watch him play it because most of the screen is taken up by the ship you're sitting in.
Yeah, it's very disorienting.
It's disorienting.
The cockpit.
Well, I actually, coincidentally enough, I found Rogue Squadron for the Nintendo 64 at a thrift store earlier this week, and I got it for like $10. And I've been playing that all weekend, and that game is so amazing as I remember.
It holds up after all these years.
It does.
I never had the N64 one, but I had a Rogue Squadron 2 for the GameCube, and that's I have a lot of fondness for that one. So
nice.
Like that was back in the days, when like finding cheat codes was like, you felt like you were pulling some Indiana Jones shit. Like, like I'm gonna push and I'm gonna play as the Naboo Starfighter instead of the X-wing, and it was
right.
I'm gonna take on the battle indoor in an Imperial TIE Fighter.
Yeah. So what else, man? Nothing. I'm getting to the news.
No, just a lot of stuff from my doc about I have to change my appetite, my diet.
Oh, no more hot
you
dogs.
ask us what we're doing, and you just shit all over us because it's not up to your exact
Star Wars shit was great. The Star Wars shit was great. It was really good.
He wouldn't have called it Star Wars shit if it was good. Food news.
Quit judging me. We're not doing food news first. I do have just one tiny bit of news, and here it is. Kelly Thompson teases Jeff the Land Shark project with Guru Hiru. That's all we have so far.
Guru Hiru. Ooh, that's a good one.
That might be really fun. If you haven't been following the Deadpool series from Kelly Thompson, you've been kind of missing out. And this is one of the characters from there. Boom.
Well, going back further with her West Coast Avengers, that was one of those ones that was tragically ended too soon. It was a really good series.
Yeah,
that's where Jeff
doing it right now. I think she got 3 ongoing series right now. Her and Donnie Cates. Who else has 3 ongoing series?
Jeff Lemire.
Not at Marvel.
Not at Marvel, no. This is
not at the big 2. I don't know any big 2.
If we're counting people who branch off into third-party stuff, that list gets a lot longer.
Sure, Donnie Cates is doing 3 books, I think, at Marvel right now, including the event book. But anyway, so all right, 2021. What are we looking forward to the most? I'll start Olympics 2021. I love the logo.
Oh, hell yeah! I missed this last year.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So go ahead, David. Go ahead.
I did watch enough of the last week's episode to know about Jules being excited for the 2020 Olympics. Then COVID hit because there was supposed to be like a big old like sumo wrestling or wrestling event.
Yeah.
That he wanted to go to, and they moved it because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then he got screwed out of it.
It's kind of appropriate that we didn't get the Olympics in 2020 because it kind of makes Akira like a documentary now. You know what I mean?
Kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot missing. We don't have Neo Tokyo.
We did. Maybe we did.
Well, yeah, David, the lack of like psychic powers and like Esper mutants and stuff really does kind of pierce that whole line of thought. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
You know what's weird though? With that whole Akira
we don't know what's
analogy,
going on in Japan.
That weird the whole thing that's wrong with that Akira analogy right now, though, is that Neo Tokyo right now seems like a good place to be. Tokyo's got their shit together. Japan knows what they're doing.
They're not even screaming at events. You can't even open your fucking mouth.
No, but you can go to events.
And they don't do it. And
the Japanese know how to be orderly in lines.
They have reopened theme parks. You can go on roller coasters, but you can't scream on them.
Yeah.
And they do it.
True.
I mean,
that's their discipline, man. They are truly disciplined people.
We look out over to the outside world and just the things we could have had,
Man, you guys have got COVID under control.
Next,
I mean, relatively.
What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to? I'll just do Taylor's. There's Taylor's.
Oh man, that's everybody's.
Who is
especially the Disney Plus side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot of cool shit.
Really excited for all of those shows, especially WandaVision. WandaVision's going to be a trip.
Yeah, we're less than.
And WandaVision's like in less than 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
I was about to. That's coming up right fast. That What If animated series looks pretty cool. Loki looks pretty cool. Everything we've gotten a trailer for so far looks really rad.
I totally agree. Romance for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. See that blossom a little bit more.
We got like a cool trippy show. We got a cool like action show, and Loki looks like it's going to be kind of an interesting, almost heist kind of spy. Like
I'm not sure, but I'm
thinking it's kind of along the lines of like a Quantum Leap kind of deal.
Oh, this guy.
Maybe.
No one knows what Quantum Leap is, bro. Okay, no one knows.
Hey, Quantum Leap's dope, man.
Yeah, but like there was that one part from the trailer where Loki was DB Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for all the Marvel shit. Of course,
definitely some time travel shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I got some movies. Free Guy. No love for Free Guy.
Free Guy looks like it's really cool.
Wasn't that already supposed to be out?
Every movie was supposed to already be out.
The movie I have been waiting for is Godzilla versus Kong. I wanted it last year. Nice. It needs to come out. I'm ready for it.
I'm still excited for this Ghostbusters Resurrection.
It's Afterlife.
Afterlife, whatever.
I want to see what it is. I don't know, man.
I don't have very high hopes.
The MCU, I'm probably looking forward to Dune the most.
Nice.
Dune which is another one. Yeah, we should have had it a couple of weeks ago right now. But
Matrix 4 is also one I'm looking forward to.
Sure.
It's the Matrix Neo.
Space Jam.
Come on, really?
Snyder Cut.
So you're gonna put up Snyder Cut over Space Jam.
You're gonna diss Space Jam, but you're gonna put up the fucking Snyder Cut.
It's weird because I've already seen both of them. I've already seen Justice League and I've already seen Space Jam. So why do I need another one? I'm not sure. But
which one did you like more?
Space Jam.
Yeah,
all right, I did. I like Space Jam more than I did Justice League. I have to admit it.
But what if we could get a movie where we had Space Jam and Justice League crossover?
Are like the Looney Tunes playing the Justice League in a high stakes basketball game? How does that work?
Yeah. That would be awesome.
My money's on Aquaman.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think that the Justice League probably would the Flash alone could intercept every pass.
But I'm saying make the Roadrunner the Flash.
Oh, that reminds me of not something I'm necessarily looking forward to.
David
or Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez has been canceled.
See, we're saying all good but the Flash is absolutely faster than Roadrunner and Speedy Gonzalez, but whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know. If the Roadrunner
Barry or Wally
Force, like Quicksilver tapped into the Speed Force and that one DC Marvel crossover.
That didn't actually happen. He tried and failed. The only reason he was able to catch up to the Flash.
Abilities have not been fully, imagined. I don't think.
See, what could happen that like in JLA Avengers is that if the Flash goes to another universe where he can't tap into the Speed Force, he starts to slow down to the point where Quicksilver can catch up to him.
So he goes to the Acme universe. If the game is
where
the Acme
universe, who has home court advantage? That might be a pretty important factor here.
We're writing an amazing comic crossover here.
Get on
it. Speaking of the Flash, that's something I'm necessarily excited about, but apparently they are back on track making that movie for some reason.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
I'm glad for them. Ezra Miller seems like a great guy and everything. I'm glad he's passionate about getting it done.
That was a stunt. That was a stunt. It's a fake.
But
yeah,
if a movie 99 times out of 100, when a movie has spent this long in development hell, it's for a good reason. It's a movie that's not going to work.
I think it was a
Deadpool. It was a nice exception.
I think it's just a DC thing. I don't think it has anything to do with Flash in particular.
I think it was a scheduling thing.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of plans to get a lot of people on the screen to portray a lot of different characters from different
plans keep shifting. They keep changing.
Plans keep shifting. 2020 was definitely a year where plans kept shifting.
Yeah, so not a great time for the movie, right?
You're right, but I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt because I am very interested to see how they deal with a Flashpoint movie on screen. How they deal with
I just hate Flashpoint.
I know, I hate it too. It's
I don't know why Flashpoint is like the go-to Flash story because it wasn't even good when it came out.
I guess because they adapted it somewhat in the CW Flash show. But
yes, that's where
it's penetrated the zeitgeist in spite of it not being a particularly good comic book.
The best part of Batman's parents. That's the only cool part of that whole thing.
That's like the most endearing part of that whole thing.
The only thing that's actually decent
is Batman.
Yeah, the only thing that's decent about it is we're seeing these characters in a different light. But then
not like we haven't seen them dozens of times before.
These movie versions, we've had 2 or 3 appearances from these characters and over the course of the several movies.
And they're different every time we see them anyway.
But it's going to be 5 different Batmans on the screen is what they're saying. I don't know.
In the Flash movie?
We're going to get that. We're going to get this in that Spider-Man 3 movie.
That's what they're saying. If they wanted to do kind of like what the new Spider-Man is amping up to.
I still don't know how I feel about all the multiverse crap in the new Spider-Man movie that apparently seems to. There's so many rumors that it feels like there can't be nothing to all these rumors.
I'm just waiting for like Spider-Man 2099 to show up.
But Marvel's just putting out rumors to hide the actual ones. I'm excited about Infinite Frontier. I'm actually excited about DC's books in March moving forward, to see what they have after. I'm not excited about Future State at all. Nope. At all. There's maybe 2 books in the whole thing. John Ridley's book and maybe one other.
Bucks. I'm still not picking that up.
I'm going to pick up at least the first Batman book.
I'll probably pick up a handful of the Future State things over the course of the 2 months, but
yeah. I might Tom Taylor on Nightwing, James Tynion talking about Scarecrow and the Bat family coming back together, in 106.
That said, though, I'm not excited about that Joker book, and I'm not excited about that like $8 anthology book they're coming out with.
Yeah, the anthology book I'm on the fence for. It's really going to matter who's writing it when, but a Chip Zdarsky Batman, I will read that. I will probably pick that
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, even though it's $8. But the Joker book, I am definitely picking that up. Tynion has done interviews on that, and just the way he talks about it as being the scariest book he's ever written, I want to see what direction he's willing to go.
I'm just not pro Joker having his own. I don't know.
Joker's overplayed.
He's so over
dude. Characters like Joker, when they're doing the solo book, there's always a danger that it just becomes violence porn.
Yeah, true.
Like, we're just, what crazy fucked up shit is the Joker gonna do? And that's shocking.
Batman annual,
but especially if this is supposed to be an ongoing, that can get old fast.
And there's so much.
Has something else up his sleeve, though.
I'm not saying that's what they're gonna do, but like, if the big selling point is it's scary, the scariest he's ever written, that more worries me than excites me.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's a valid point. I'm gonna give it a chance. Either way, one way or the other. David, you were saying.
I'm just saying, what can they do with Joker that they haven't already done? And
that's another valid point. Yeah. That's another valid point. But the thing I'm excited for the most in comics this year is obviously X-Men, the Reign of X. They've already touched on a lot of different things here. They got what's his name, Shadow King, up here in the upper left. We got the
he's corrupting the children and all that.
I don't know, the Gala. There's a lot going on, but man, Patch, Wolverine from this week. You got
we actually have already seen the Wolverine stuff there.
Yeah. So that's exciting. What about you guys? Anything? We don't really know a lot about comics this year yet. You know what I mean?
No, not really. We only
have something
so far.
Ooh, David has something for 2021.
I am excited for Bad Idea.
Oh, Jesus. Just kill me now.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Bad Idea is a comic book publisher created by Dinesh Shamandanzi, who was the guy at Valiant, who reinvigorated Valiant.
Yeah, the guy behind
a couple of the other Valiant administrators got together and started a new comic book publisher. So we're going to get actual issues of this book. They were going to be very sought after, very collectible. And then 2020,
like designer comics?
Not really designer, just very limited to get, sort of like preferred membership. I don't know, dude.
But yeah,
ENIAC looks great. The first book that they're planning to put out looks amazing. Everything.
Have you seen the artwork? Have you seen the artwork from Tanker?
It's unfinished art.
It's unfinished artwork, but
it looks okay.
It looks phenomenal, even unfinished. It's beautiful.
It's going to be very hard to find these books.
I've already pre-ordered this shit.
It's going to
whenever like
digital versions of them.
Books. Sorry, Adam.
Can you get digital versions of them?
No, I don't know.
That's part of the shtick.
I've already
found a shop that's going to be selling them nearby, and I've already pre-ordered like the first 5 issues.
I hope that it works out for you.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be very difficult.
Whenever you hear about these ventures where like we are going to let the artist take control and like, that's a good idea on paper. That could work out pretty well. It also could work out with John Romero doing Daikatana.
Yeah.
Well, my
it could also be like, Todd McFarlane, that's not as like objectively
my
bad.
My thing is never make it hard for the consumer to consume your goods.
Well, that's the thing.
When you do,
yeah.
I don't care about your goods. And if I do care about your goods, I'm not going to put the effort to go find it. I'm going to pirate it somewhere.
What they're basically doing is trying to build up a fan base from the ground up. And
that's nice.
And what they want to do is have a fan base that's so excited for their stuff that they're going to do what David did. Seek it out, get it on pre-order at these stores to keep a sort of closed network of these folks. But I'm telling you, man, I don't think
sounds well.
I don't think it's going to last, though.
Yeah. I mean, if this strategy doesn't work for them, they can always take the route that TKO takes.
I love what TKO does.
I love what TKO does
is not what they are doing. TKO is pushing digital. TKO is pushing trades. They're saying that these ENIAC books, like ENIAC, I've already read, it's not going to be collected. Really? None of the bad idea books are going to actually be collected in a trade. It's all going to be single paper issues.
Yeah, and so once it's gone, it's gone.
It's a bold strategy. It's a bold strategy.
There's a lot of commendable stuff about this, but it also does sound like it's in the danger of these guys just stroking themselves off a lot about that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and it has been. Their promotion has been very unique and
it's weird.
A bit egotistical, man.
The button.
It's been weird.
Like, it does sound like there's a danger of them just disappearing up their own ass, you know?
There is a danger of that.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
But I'm still going to get their
fans.
issues.
They got a lot of passionate fans that I see all the time on the internet and stuff. So,
yeah. But I'm excited for it. I mean,
that's a good pick, dude. That's a good pick.
I went through the trouble of finding a shop locally that will sell the books.
Rick.
Yep. No, not Rick.
Not Rick?
You going
to the borough?
Nope.
Well, he's not going to tell you because you're going to get in there and swipe up all of his bad idea books.
You shit talker.
But I found a shop locally that is part of their retailing group, and I pre-ordered.
Rick was on that list.
Rick is on the list. There's only 3 shops in Tennessee on the list.
Yeah. Okay.
And Rick is one of them.
Food news. Chocolate honeycomb's coming back. That's all I got.
Ooh.
Okay.
I knew David would be happy. Delicious.
Have you been able to find any of that Mountain Dew watermelon flavor?
No, I haven't found any.
I have found 2 12-packs and a whole bunch of like 20-ounce liter bottles.
Ooh.
It's actually pretty good. I was actually kind of surprised by how well it was.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to Adam. You're up. Pretty solid week, I guess.
Do we want to talk about the comics, or David, do you want to talk about the show with me?
I didn't read the comics, but I can talk about the show.
You guys go ahead and talk about the show for a bit, and then we'll dive. The comics.
All right, we'll do kind of like a spoiler-free talk about it, the show, okay. I guess, overall, because Gomer didn't watch it. But what you think about it, David?
There were some of these episodes that was like trippy as could be, like when they got stuck in the dead universe and like Skylink. You had a cameo from Skylinks. You had a lot of just like jumping back and forth.
There are a lot of cameos.
There is a lot of cameos. There are a lot of Easter eggs in this season.
Yeah, I will say that this season the story was not as tight as the first season.
No, it
was definitely more all over the place. There were like 3 different storylines. I think the most interesting one for me was the Alita 1 storyline, just because it's nice to see her come into her own as leading an Autobot.
She was left out at the end.
Yeah, right. She was left back to the arc.
So she's just on Cybertron, like alone.
When she's not fully alone. She's
got like
Jetfire and Red Alert and Chromia.
Yeah,
but they're like leading an Autobot resistance, and like the Decepticons are turning on each other. And she's leading a joint coalition of like renegade Decepticons and Autobots, fighting alongside each other against like Megatron's Decepticons.
But they did a really good job this season of, I think, laying the groundwork for the next season.
Yes, a lot of the Kingdom season.
Yeah. They introduced a lot of plot ideas. They teased Unicron a couple times.
Yeah, Galvatron shows up, and Galvatron's like the only person I've ever seen manhandle Megatron as much as Optimus Prime.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this shit. Damn.
I mean, literally, like Galvatron ragdolls Megatron, like how Hulk ragdolls Loki. Galvatron does the same to Megatron.
I can't wait.
And there were a couple of strong character moments. There are a couple strong character episodes in this where Megatron and Optimus really kind of solidify their course and where their character is going, which is something that's been sorely missing in the comic books.
Yeah.
But overall, I really like this season. I still have some minor complaints with like the voice acting. Sometimes it's not that great.
Yeah, it kind of falls flat on a lot of it. I really wish that like the Megatron was more menacing than he is.
Megatron just talks really slow.
But it's just like they had like all these wonderful like little nods to like different Transformer continuities. We had G1, we had like later G1, we had Beast Wars kind of stuff going on. Oh. We had just all kinds of like different things happening, and
I will say it's not as violent as the first season was. Not as many characters died, or it's harder to tell when characters died because they're very inconsistent on weapon damage, I guess.
Yeah. Sure. And like if you like follow like the toy line, just like certain like recolored characters show up that are, they had like the refractor repaint called Scrap Face, or
okay.
Yeah. He was in the series.
They had Sound Blaster earlier on too, didn't they?
They had Sound Blaster in the first one. They had the
pretty much all the scavengers are repaints.
I don't like this third faction, this mercenary.
No, the scavengers were weak. That said, though, the Quintesson.
Awesome. The Decius, the Quintesson, yeah.
Decius was awesome.
But I really wish they'd focus more, instead of him like having like leftover Transformers or like the iron they gave us like a generic Transformer. Really wish that he had more Quintesson bots, like the Alicon and the
I'm surprised they didn't have any of those.
Well, Kingdom is right around the corner.
Yeah, and
it's going to be an animal-centric, sort of.
It is that they teased that at the end of it because there wasn't a whole lot of Earth Rising getting on in this series.
There is a Dinobot cameo at the end, though.
There was a Beast Wars character at the end of it, but they didn't get to Earth until the last episode. And
I will say for a season called Earthrise, there is no Earth on it until the last episode.
They had like a lot of nods to like Headmasters, Nebulos.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cool. Dire Race number 3, Chris Ryall, John Joseph's guide.
I didn't read this, man.
If you believe they put a man on the moon, it's kind of mediocre. It was cool to see Rom again, but this was just meh. It had like these historical angles with the moon landing. It was cool to see the Adventure 1 team from Humanoids.
Did the two stories finally connect?
When are they going to get a Humanoids comic?
Yeah, I don't know.
Humanoids comic.
They'll probably never come out with one.
What's going on at IDW with the Hasbro? Not really enough here for me to care. Yeah, they did. You remember how Nakoma and Rom were fighting far away?
Mm-hmm.
A portal was closed and Nakoma like pushes Rom into the portal, and he ends up saving the day when those astronauts are facing their final end, fighting that guy.
So he's the Deus Ex Machina for the
exactly, basically. But it was kind of a unique way to bring those stories together, telling them out of order. Galaxies number 12, Easton Griffith. Ultra Magnus saves Alphatron from a black hole or something.
Basically, the whole issue is just Ultra Magnus going from point A to point B. It looked really cool because it has Andrew Griffith art. So, I mean, it looks cool, him beating people up, but the story itself sucked. And literally the only thing that happened was he saved Alpha Trion.
Yeah, Chrome Dome, Victory, Leo, Help, and Sound Blasters around for some reason. This does lead directly into Escape number 1.
It does.
With the Insecticon reveal at the end. That was pretty dope, but who cares?
Yeah.
It was some pretty decent action sci-fi, if you really, you know what I mean?
If you care.
Transformers, but yeah, I don't care. And the main character just didn't work for me. The characterizations of Ultra Magnus were bad in this.
Yeah. Galaxies was a stinker. The art was good. That's about the only thing.
Who are we doing next? Because this is like different. We had a Cliff Jumper. We had a.
I don't know, because I only remember first announced was the first 12, so I don't.
Oh, so maybe this is it.
Who knows? I
mean, do we really need another book?
I hope not.
This is 3.
Yeah.
Escape, talking about the last one. Escape #1, Brian Ruckley, Bethany McGuire Smith. The war has begun, but instead of focusing on a counteroffensive against the Decepticons, this book is focusing on getting organic refugees off of the planet. The 13 was mentioned in a holy way, so that's.
I will say, so there were some cool action scenes in this. So Hound found the Insecticons, and who were basically eating all of the organic people who were living on Cybertron, which is crazy but awesome.
Awesome, yes.
Right? And so Hound and Wheeljack come up with the idea to basically make an arc and send them all off the planet, save them. And Optimus Prime is like, yeah, that's a great use of our resources instead of fighting.
Instead of actually, putting the manpower to stop the insurrection of your government, you hopeless bastard.
Right. And then the only other thing that happened in this is they did some alarm or whatever. So Die Atlas is coming out of his melding with the Cybertron emergence or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's okay, I guess.
Strax,
I don't know. I still didn't really like this issue. I really did not like what the organics, like when they were having the conversation with the organics.
That's in there.
And that lady was like, we don't know what it's like to be safe. And then she went on for the entire page giving
that's literally analogy. Hound says, "Oh my God, I'm glad you're safe, you sentient fleshy being." And then she's like, a full page of just whining and bitching about how terrible the Cybertronians are. Literally, the Cybertronians saved them from the thrall and gave them a place to live on Cybertron, and they're bitching about it. I don't know what Ruckley is trying to do with this weird. It didn't work for me at all. It doesn't work. If that's what this book is going to be, if that's what Escape is going to be, just trying to get the
fleshlings,
organic people off of Cybertron, that is dumb. Dumb. All right, that was we'll have another one next week for Moment of Destruction. Let's get into top 3. Man, I got so much to say.
Did it skip 2 there?
Do what?
It went from 3 to 1 on the little blip thing there. Yeah. It did. It didn't find that time, but
it must be my computer. We'll start with Taylor because he hasn't spoken in a while. We were talking about Transformers for 10 minutes.
I don't have much to say. I'm not plugged into the Transformers verse like you guys
you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. It's terrible. You just heard us bitch about it for 10 minutes.
I did, yeah. So I should check out the TV show and not the comics right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
And the TV show is only 6 episodes long. Their own episodes are only 25 minutes, so it's really
it's easy to buzz through, man.
Easy.
Yeah, I was actually like, wait a second, am I done with it already?
Right? I need 15,070 more minutes of Never mind. That is a newsy story that no one.
We'll let Taylor talk now.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Right. I guess I'll start with an honorable mention. I'll go ahead and do Batman Annual as an honorable mention here. Mostly because of the art.
Yeah, thank you.
It was getting into Tinian's pet character here, Clown Hunter. Yeah. Well, one of his pet characters. He's also been doing this Ghostmaker guy.
Character that emerged from the Joker War.
It is the better of the. Better than Punchline, better than Ghostmaker. So of the recent new additions,
better than the designer.
Oh wow, that's some Kelly Jones looking stuff.
I forgot.
The designer was
good reason.
The designer wasn't even anything. He was just dead. It was just the Joker the whole time. So I don't have any opinion about the designer.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I guess. But
I think I'll wait until my number 3 pick to talk about Batman.
If you want to wait till then, we can wait until then.
Let's wait till then.
I'll throw that one out there also.
It's your number 3 pick as well, Adam. All right, so let's wait and we'll talk about Batman after your after your 3rd pick.
My 3rd pick, I'm actually going to do Avengers number 40.
All right.
Is that another one on your list?
It is. This is my number 2 pick. I know this is a fucked up week because there were not a lot of books this week. So go ahead, Taylor. Do your review, and then we'll dig deep.
Okay,
into Avengers number 40.
You guys know how we were talking about how we were expecting Ten of Swords to be the Shonen Tournament arc?
That is in my
guess
notes.
What? Guess where it's going instead.
Yes. This is Mortal Kombat with the Avengers and a Phoenix Force.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it's stupid.
More powerful.
It's a silly concept, but Jason Aaron does have a talent for taking things that are objectively dumb, but it feels in a fun, awesome way.
It feels like a kid just taking all of his action figures and just mashing them together.
Yeah,
all the fun.
It's the best kind of dumb. It's the fun kind of dumb.
Yeah,
it's the awesome kind of dumb.
I would love to say that there was this amazing build-up to this story with
it really just like
threads of plot meticulously sewn together. But no, we didn't get any of that. This is just
so weirdly enough, he's been teasing all these different story arcs. He's been teasing the Atlantis stuff. He's been teasing like the thing with like the Squadron Supreme or whatever that Coulson has. He's been teasing the vampires. He's been teasing the like Russian agents. The only thing he didn't tease for a long ass time was this fucking Phoenix Force stuff.
And then he's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, he just dropped like a couple issues back. The Phoenix just shows up out of fucking nowhere and it's like, oh yeah, Moon Knight called Phoenix all the way to Earth, and then like Phoenix is like, I'm gonna hang out
Moon
for a
Knight called for Phoenix.
Yeah. So somebody said it feels like a little kid on the floor playing with their action figures. Yes, but the kid has ADD, like really bad ADD. But anyway, let's get deep into this. I loved this right here, this callback to the MCU.
Yeah.
I had to throw that up there.
They did a good job writing Captain America in this issue. He gave him a good internal monologue. Yeah. It does kind of get to something that's kind of core to Cap's character, that like beneath all the super soldier serum, beneath like the shield and the pageantry and stuff, he is the guy who, no matter how far out of his weight class he is always going to, grit his teeth, dig in his feet, and push back.
Yeah, and he won. He beat Dr. Doom. So Dr.
He did,
Doom
and I like the way that he won, because Doom is like, wait a minute, this isn't a fighting contest.
This isn't fair. And he just
I forfeit.
So this it was Dr. Doom, but this is the rest of the combatants for this Mortal Kombat style Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
Weirdness. Moon Girl.
Wait, are Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur a tag team, or is it them?
No, they count as one. They just count as one.
Okay.
Just like, I don't know why. Shauna the She-Devil and Sabu, they count as one as well.
All right. So if you have a pet, you got to bring it with you. That's
exactly. If you have a pet, you can bring it. Namor, Luke Cage, Howard the Duck somehow.
Somehow,
yeah.
Echo, who's really hot right now. Man-Thing, who I don't know how anybody's going to beat Man-Thing.
Man-Thing's pretty OP.
He's super OP.
Well, you just have to not be afraid of him. That's all it is.
Yeah, Echo's
Namor might do well against the Man-Thing then, but most of the other people here probably feel at least a little bit of fear about things,
The Orb. I don't know why this guy loves the fucking Orb.
Jason Aaron loves the Orb.
I don't get it.
Orb is in everything he does, but he never really does anything with the Orb.
He threw him into Original Sin years and years ago, and he was actually kind of fun.
And then he was
actually an enjoyable character in Original Sin.
Who's that next to the Orb? I didn't recognize them. Is that like American Eagle or?
Yes, that is American Eagle. Jason Strongbow. He's been most recently in Agents of Wakanda.
Okay.
He's strong, fast, and tough. He had radiation exposure.
I remember him back during Warren Ellis's Thunderbolts run.
Radiation. Who's this guy in the red that's like between Namor and Shang-Chi?
I'll get to
Red Widow. It's a character that Jason Aaron's used earlier in this run.
For the Russian.
Wolverine is on the list. He has a great line in here teasing a human mutant war, which I personally can't wait for.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, who's hot right now. Nighthawk, Black Knight, who's really hot right now. Red Widow that we mentioned. Black Panther, She-Hulk, Cap, Hyperion, and Valkyrie. Wow. Yeah, my number 2 pick. I should hate this because of the way Jason Aaron is just like, oh yeah, I don't even care about really writing comics anymore. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. Meanwhile, Hickman's got charts and fucking graphs probably in his garage.
With red lines.
Like, fuck it.
Jason Aaron and Jonathan Hickman are an interesting contrast because like Hickman has like layers and layers of plans and like it's all this kind of like cerebral writing style, whereas Jason Aaron's like who wants to watch Oh, I definitely do, but like
planned this out, but
certainly, but
it's not the same.
It doesn't feel like it's planned at all.
Okay, so like Jonathan Hickman, what I was trying to get to is he kind of like massages your brain. Jason Aaron goes for the guts. You know, we are here for a fucking thrill ride. You want to watch Captain America with the Phoenix Force punch Dr. Doom? Here you fucking go.
Basically, that's what's set up here, and we should probably get to that. The whole book is this fight that Cap is having with Dr. Doom, and they've both been infused with the Phoenix Force. But the side story is how it gets to that point where the Phoenix Force is nesting near Avengers Mountain and then finally comes up and then is like, okay, everybody's going to do this big Mortal Kombat of fighting. Everybody gets a little bit of Phoenix Force and then does their thing.
I don't really like Dr. Doom in this issue. I will say that.
He's a pansy in this.
He is such a pansy in this.
Kind of like a pansy. He's always making excuses like Doom is not into foreplay. I mean, honestly, that was a line or something. He mentioned foreplay.
But that was kind of weird. But
again, if we're talking the antithesis of Hickman, his portrayal of Dr. Doom says a lot in that context because Hickman literally turned Doom into a god, and Aaron's just like, nah, you got
big reward of it.
On steroids. Not to limit Cap, but I know Taylor's biting his tongue.
Well, I mean, Dr. Doom
on steroids.
Dr. Doom was kicking the shit out of Captain America, which from like a objective standpoint, Cap does not stand a chance against Dr. Doom. But I actually kind of like Doom's reasoning for just bowing out. Like,
the Phoenix ain't playing fair.
Well, yeah, the Phoenix is just like apparently doing almost like Saturnine did in Ten of Swords, where like this isn't necessarily just
Doom doesn't play other people's games. He plays his own.
Which I appreciated that about Doom is like I am not here to deal with anyone's bullshit, even if you're like a cosmic death entity. So fuck you, I'm out. But,
the reason the Avengers are there are not to win, quote unquote, win the Phoenix Force. Doom wanted to win the Phoenix Force. That's the only reason he was there. So, cool. Yeah, very good book.
Unlimited cosmic power.
Yeah, I'll move on. I'll go because Adam and I have the same number 3, and Taylor honorable mentioned it. So yeah, a lot to talk about here.
This was my number 3.
Oh, this was Batman Annual. Oh no, Avengers.
Batman was my honorable mention. Avengers is my 3.
Yeah, Avengers was my number 2. So I'll do my number 3. I didn't have any honorable mentions, so we can talk about Batman Annual number 5 in depth. James Tynion and James Stokoe. Finally, a pretty damn good Batman issue, but I think for all the wrong reasons. We have the origin of Clown Hunter again. Just amazing art. This is
James Stokoe. His art is fantastic. He needs to get more gigs in the big.
Like I was saying earlier, this is like some very Kelly Jones looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great one to pick. I love the imagery of just like the bats spilling out of their wounds and like transforming Bruce.
How many times have we seen the Waynes die? But this is a perfect depiction of that.
It's a real standout. Yeah,
it really is. It really is.
Stands out in a crowded field.
So Clown Hunter is right. Okay, Clown Hunter's right. His parents were murdered by the Joker. Batman did next to nothing to stop it, as he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
It happened again to where the boy witnesses a woman
literally a pretty brutal murder, too. It was
burned alive, set on fire by the Joker's goons. And, I mean, this art is just perfect where Clown Hunter goes nuts.
And this is kind of harking back to when we first get introduced to Clown Hunter. He is burning Joker goons in the Batmobile.
Exactly. So then what happens? Okay. Batman comes around to be the hero to this poor, broken boy, a boy who he himself had basically a hand in breaking. Batman is the villain as he continues to cope with the death of his parents by, still doing what he does, being this codependent bullshit with all of his, villains in Gotham. But now he's leaning even harder, like all in what I like to call the Robin dependency, where he plays this holier-than-thou icon to victims that he himself created. He helped create Clown Hunter through his inactions. And then he uses those experiences to justify his own twisted method of dealing with his own disorders.
I think you're laying that on a little thick.
I don't think I am. Clown Hunter.
I think you're laying it on a little thick.
Clown Hunter killed 3 clowns in this book and did more to help Gotham than Batman has done.
Well, that is something I will say. It's like I don't necessarily. I couldn't help as I was reading this thinking is like Leslie Tompkins is like, no, I don't think we should kill the Joker. Of course you fucking should.
I have a line
The real reason why they don't kill the Joker is because they don't want to lose the character. Like, dude, it's a perpetual publication. Sure. The character will never go away, so that's why they don't kill him. That's the real reason.
She's this Florence Nightingale sort of character who you're supposed to respect just out of hand because she's a selfless nurse. But she's spitting this non-existent hope. She's woefully ignorant at best and straight up gaslighting this kid at worst by telling him all this bullshit. She's wrong. Batman don't ever do shit to help Gotham. Joker War proved it. Joker War proved it, dude.
Well, the thing is though, is that she's not spitting out Batman's method or ideas. She's actively telling him to not follow Batman. She's telling him to go live his own life, to move away from all this bullshit. No,
what she's telling him is you need to not live in reality. You need to get back to your video games where you're not live. No, reality is what
she's telling him. Parents get. She's telling him to stop murdering people, and
that's what. That is okay, but when you don't murder people.
I guess we all have like really different takes on all this, but
well, if we're looking at it in a real world context, okay, Batman does.
Okay, so
he should murder Joker.
Let's step off of your anti-Batman soapbox. That seems to be like a weekly event at this point.
It really is. It really is.
But my thing is that like, if someone killed Joker, that would be a net good, even if it crushes the soul of whoever does it. Okay, that's probably saved hundreds of lives. I'll make that trade, you know?
Exactly. So what's the difference between killing a mass murderer or killing a mass murderer who killed, just a percentage of those people?
That being okay, so in Batman's defense, though,
burnt an innocent old lady to death, that he murdered that guy, but we're supposed to feel bad that he murdered that guy?
I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying that this story is a lady, just this doctor talking to a 14-year-old boy being like, hey, you shouldn't go out and murder people on the streets. It's probably better if you stay inside and play video games.
You're right. Even if she's not buying her own bullshit, it's still
the outside world is a dangerous place.
Sure.
Especially in Gotham.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I actually really like the Robot Chicken sketch they did one time where Batman, he doesn't kill the Joker. He just has him arrested, and then they just execute him.
Yes,
that's the thing that's
the thing that should happen.
Honestly, the Gotham City Justice Department, I think, is far more at fault than Batman is.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't care if he is insane. I mean, at this point, just give him the frickin' chair, man. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be better because Clown Hunter broke bad worse than Bruce. Did he, though? Did he break bad worse than Bruce or better than Bruce? You know what I mean? Either way, Tynion is doing a lot of good things with it. I mean, this is
okay. So basically, this boils down to like, do you think the Punisher is more right than Batman? Because this kid is basically like emo Punisher at this point.
Exactly.
He's Hot Topic Punisher.
It's fun to see Tynion play with this. It's an age-old question at this point. If Batman would just murder these maniacs, everything would be better in Gotham City. I'm still hoping that Tynion plays around more with Bruce being broke, quote-unquote broke. He's still a millionaire, but...
I actually did like that exchange for, like, you're still richer than I am.
Yeah. But yeah, great book.
That's functionally made no difference to Batman so far.
It hasn't. I really hope that...
Well, it's been like one story arc, I guess.
I know.
You're right. And Ghostmaker is here, and he's supposed to be loaded.
He's super rich.
Oh yeah, so doesn't that kind of nullify the whole Batman being broke thing if he's got like his unlimited money friend in town now? Yeah.
Not if Ghostmaker's got ulterior motives, which I still hope he does. If not,
I'm sure he does. This is definitely leading to some sort of fight, I'm sure, but that's still a dumb name.
It is. All right, so. Adam, that was your number 3, Batman?
That was my number 3, but I also have a honorable mention.
Sure, yeah.
The Last 52, I picked that up.
Oh, I didn't.
It was okay. It was $9, so I can't really recommend you go out and get it because it wasn't worth $9. But it's basically the end to all the stories that the previous $9 trade set up. there were some cool Wonder Woman moments. There was a cool Superman moment where Superman gets to fight Red Sun Superman.
Oh, cool.
Then there was a moment where Batman got to fight the Batman Who Laughs again because apparently he got resurrected for some reason.
Yeah.
There's
also the Darkest Knight running around.
Yeah, there's still the Darkest Knight running around. But then there was a really funny story in the back. There's a really funny story in the back where John Constantine is there and he's fighting, and he comes across the Dark Universe version of himself, and instead of fighting it out, they just go and they get a drink at a bar somewhere instead.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, it really is. It really works well for Constantine. I'll be happy next fun,
but
this thing is over.
I'm with you. I'll be happy when this is over.
All right. So your number 3 was Batman.
Yep.
And you had an honorable mention. So David, we need a number 3 from you.
Oh boy!
No, it's weird because there were so few books. We were having a lot of crossover.
Honorable mention. It's going to be Colonel Weird, Cosmogog. This is basically Jeff Lemire's love letter to Quantum Leap. Colonel Weird is jumping through the timeline, trying to get out of his loop, apparently.
But it's working the way Quantum Leap was meant to work.
Yeah,
man, I love all the Quantum Leap mentions this episode.
He's going into his own body.
Disproportionately high mentions for Quantum Leap.
But
not even my favorite got back.
He's trying when he's going into his own body at different points in the timeline. There's the one with the anti-god before they get teleported to the barn.
Yeah,
he's trying to tell Abraham Slam that the Black Hammer is going to fight this guy, and Black Hammer can't do it alone. You have to help him. And he's like, I got to go do this thing. And then he disappears to 10 years in the past. And every time he disappears, somebody's always saying it's been 10 years since we've seen you. He's hanging out in some kind of hippie commune where he can levitate and has all this the para energies, gave him powers and stuff.
Sounds like Klaus.
Yeah. And he's Klaus. Yep. With the ghost and all that, making him levitate.
Yeah.
But he eventually ends up just going back to where he first explored that alien planet and leaving himself a map. That's how I take it. It's like hieroglyphics, petroglyphics, drawings on a cave, but he's leaving himself some kind of map to get himself out of it. The art was fantastic. The storytelling, it jumps around, but Jeff Lemire is doing a really good job doing this, and it works with Colonel Weird. And I'm hoping that we get to see some kind of resolution next issue.
Nice.
My next one is
still just honorable mentions?
No, this is my third pick.
Oh, okay. I want to say, I don't know how you found this many damn books this week.
The Fabulous Lives, or the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, from Gerard Way and Sean Simon.
I haven't been reading this at all.
This is like a crossover between this They Live and the Warriors.
Both those things.
The Killjoys are a gang. They've been disbanded for a while. The leaders kind of come back. He's got the gang back together to kind of finish off a fight that happened so many years ago with this evil, I don't know if it's a corporation or an alien force, but they kind of subdue the people, force them to take pills and kind of live a blah life. And this kind of picks up where our kid Jamie, the kid that they rescued in the previous issue, it turns out that Jamie is the character's name is the Scarecrow, and the Killjoys, and it is the Scarecrow's kid. There was this big shamanistic character that heals somebody that was wounded.
Okay.
And through the magic that they use,
magic.
I'm not sure what exactly it is, but through whatever method they use, there's some exchange of information where the kid learns that this is his father, this is his real father, and he also picks up a couple other things. But the Killjoys go on to fight. They find another gang called the Weirdos, and the Killjoys and the Weirdos join forces to fight the group of gangs that have kind of gotten together, put aside their differences, and have been working as a corporation in this dystopia. And it's one of the most interesting kind of fights. You know, you got these like Wolverine-esque without claw individuals and the weirdos fighting these people with guns. They got the Killjoys that have like laser guns. It's just awesome.
Sounds dope. I should check it out. I actually have all the books. I should just check it out. All right, good choice.
Yep.
Number 2. I think it's back to you, Taylor.
Back to Taylor.
My number 2 is going to be Power Pack number 2. I was a big fan of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and the guy who wrote that, Ryan North, is writing this book, and I really like his humor. And that is enough to carry it for me in a fairly slow week to the number 2 spot.
Nice.
It's just things like, okay, so spoiler alert, at the end you find out that like the wizard is trying to like manipulate the Power Pack.
Sure.
Yeah, and he does the bio dump for the wizard by like, oh, here's my unfinished draft of my autobiography. I don't have time for this right now. And then like he throws in the trash and we can read it from the page. So stuff like that, I get a kick out of like the way he kind of goofs on these characters and their backstories and how convoluted and melodramatic everything is. Kind of like in the last issue, the recap page here was the youngest member of the Power Pack, like drawing things in crayons. That was kind of fun. It's cute.
My favorite part was when the oldest member, who is 17, was trying to use the theory of relativity to get over on.
Oh yeah, it is actually true. He is actually 21. He has been off in space aging. For
so
quite a
weird,
while. He's actually true. And then like I like how Julie was like, do you really want to open up the can of worms about whether or not relativistic aging qualifies as part of Kamala's law here? Do you want to be the person who brings that to the courts?
Yeah. Also, first appearance of Agent Ether, or Aether, whatever.
Oh well, that's just the wizard. So
I know. Still,
pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Not a bad choice. I'm still loving Outlawed. It's still fun. Yeah. Just fun. You picked just a fun book.
It's fun. It's a fun book.
Yeah. Again, my number 2 was Avengers 40. We already went in depth, which is very fun. So, Adam, number 2.
My number 2 was Wolverine number 8. Ben Percy, Adam Kubert, Victor Bogdanovich. Yeah. You know, I'm enjoying Wolverine getting back to being his own self. This was kind of a double issue.
It was
a little bit.
Anniversary
for legacy numbering.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. There's like a little prologue, like an intro story almost. Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Where Wolverine kind of gives some backstory for the main story that happens afterwards. Talking about Team X and whatnot. But I enjoyed the Omega Red. Fighting Wolverine and his Wolverine family. You talking about Batman building up his own little mini-me's. Wolverine's over here, got his own.
Other people made those though. Other people made those monsters.
Wolverine made Jack.
Joker made.
Yeah.
Clown Hunter. I don't know, man.
Quick question: since when are Wolverine and Daken cool? Last time I saw them, they were
Resurrection since Krakoa became a thing.
Okay.
Dude, in X Factor, Daken is super cool, man.
Oh yeah, he's so cool.
I love him so much. I love him. His pansexual ass. He's great.
That said, though, it was still just kind of like an introductory issue. Not much really happened in this, but we get Patch at the end, so that's something.
That felt like it was all going to Patch. I like the Honey Badger, which she's going by Scout now, not Honey Badger. Which
that's sad.
Sorry, Honey Badger was a much better name.
Honey Badger is a much better name.
They made the wrong choice there.
They did make the wrong choice.
Tom Taylor creation right there.
Yeah.
That was a fun run.
That was a fun run.
It was a really fun run. But yeah, I love this book too.
The thing that kept it from being an honorable mention for me, they kidnapped that guy's dog, and then when he's asking, "Is my dog okay?" I just want to know that frickin' Maverick headshots him and kills him. And that's so.
Maverick. It can't be Maverick. Who knows?
I assume it's Maverick whenever he gets killed, but that poor guy. I feel so bad for him that it honestly just kind of drags down the whole issue for me.
Aw, the dog was okay.
The dog was okay, but this poor guy who had his dog stolen in like he just wants to know if his dog's okay. He seems like a pretty good guy to me in that moment, and then just,
I can we normalize that the fact that not everybody who owns a dog is a nice person?
Okay, sure, but this guy cared about his dog.
It's starting to bother me. That trope is really starting to bother me.
It humanizes him at least.
It does. It's a weird.
Which was probably the point, but still.
Yeah. It's a weird trope to humanize people. I'm not sure it works anymore. He's a dog lover. I don't know. But not a bad choice, Adam. That was his number 2 choice, David.
Yes, that was
You're
his
up,
number
brother.
2 choice. I Walk with Monsters number 2. We get a little more background on JC.
The shit nobody else knows anything about.
We get this additional background on JC, how she kind of came into contact with this. I'm not exactly sure if he's a werewolf or a shapeshifter or what, but she starts feeding him as a stray dog, and he basically gets stronger and starts talking.
Oh wow!
And she's like, and apparently he can affect the world around him because JC's really concerned about her adoptive father doing to her what he's done to her brother. Because she was at school and she said something about like my father hurts people and I'm afraid that I'm going to be next.
Okay.
And the teacher was like, well, that's a very serious charge. Do you have proof? Because if we go to the principal, you're going to have proof. But it kind of goes into this background story about how with the aid of the monster that they or this shape-shifting dog creature man, how they get away from this abusive father, and they're in this town in Indiana, and the guy's basically saying like, this has a very familiar feel to it, similar to how like another place was. And then at the end of the book, she kind of looks at a political ad on a billboard or something and realizes that the guy that took her brother is the politician.
Oh yeah, I read the first issue of this. Sorry.
What you think of it?
Oh, it was damn good. I wish I'd read
that. You're totally Captain America. I understood that reference.
I get that reference.
I should have read the second issue. Damn. Yeah, but this is a cool book.
This has got that kind of like that really tropey feel of supernatural, and this book called or the show I used to watch as a kid called Werewolf the Wanderer or something like that, The Journey. Okay. But she's basically hunting monsters, and she finally confronts the monster that made her what she is.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty good book. Good choice. I don't know how that got under my radar. Oh well.
Well, so trying to help you out, man.
I'm glad you reminded me. Somebody's got to remind me of the good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, Taylor.
Okay, so I assume that since no one else has mentioned it yet, it's probably the same for you guys. X-Men.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. X-Men 16 is number 1. Yeah.
It was a kind of not a lot is happening in this issue per se. It's a lot of kind of
not a lot is happening, but also a ton is happening.
Yeah,
good job of doing exposition dumps. That's what X-Men is Hickman's exposition dump, so the rest of the line can kind of tell the story around it.
Yeah, and no one can do an exposition dump like Hickman. That is absolutely true.
So entertaining.
So they're picking up. They're putting things back together after Ten of Swords, and we're kind of setting up like where we're going from here. And the big fallout, like we were talking about before, is that there's a whole new island, and we didn't quite realize, I think, just how many more Arakans there are going to be than Krakoans. They said like it's like 20-1 or something like that.
20 times as many.
Yeah,
that's a lot more.
Yeah, we didn't quite get the reconciliation that Krakoa, the entity, was hoping for, but. It's kind of. I like the way that they played that, though. Like this other island has been away from you for like thousands of years. That they are not the same. Yeah. I was going to say person, but they're not the same.
They don't even speak the same language anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they are a person. It's a sentient island. They're both.
Yeah, I was going to say not the same entity that they were before.
Yeah. So Cypher's trying to play matchmaker to Arakko and Krakoa. with time creating rifts that may never close. But the Quiet Council reaches out to the governing body of Arakko, and it's the similar results. And I like how Hickman is playing.
I like the way they played Iska here, because it would have been so easy just to be like, "You wretched children, I don't care about your weak, soft ways." But no, she was like, Iska was kind of, she was like, "Oh man, that's really not going to fly." I mean, that's great. It's not necessarily wrong that you guys are like this, but
you guys are kind of pussies.
Yeah, I don't think you quite understand the
babies. You don't know what you're talking about yet.
It's not necessarily wrong to think like this, but it's really different than what we've been dealing with. You'll see.
Oh, you bless your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bless your heart moment. This is the Great Ring of Arakko, which is the governing body, sort of the counter to the Quiet Council. Some of these folks we know.
Tarn the Uncaring. I can't wait to see more Tarn.
Yeah, we're gonna get
mostly because I always think of Transformers when I think of Tarn.
We don't know.
Tarn is pretty cool too.
We don't know too many of the people here. We only really know Iska and Redroot, and Redroot's not even there right now. She's in Jim Jasper's menagerie somewhere, I guess. Right. But
Tarn. I think that's going to be key. If Redroot stays away, then Cypher's going to have to be the one to do the work.
Yeah, that's probably why they set it up that way. Yeah. But
so Ideal, we don't know that person. Tarn the Uncaring, we actually did meet in Hellions.
Okay.
He's sort of like a Mr. Sinister style character.
Yeah, he's a Mr. Sinister for Arakko.
Yeah.
He was the guy that showed up with those like misshapen guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Who look like Slipknot for some reason to me. I thought Slipknot. Anyway, Aura, Soraka, the Witness, Stilgid, Lotus Logos. I think that name has been mentioned before. It's possible that is one of Tarn the Uncaring's homeboys, but I don't remember. And then
it might have been. Yeah, because they all had weird alliteration names.
Yeah. And then Laktuka, Sobunar, and then the Knight is totally
Yeah, we got a lot of.
That has got to be Apocalypse's kids.
Hickman and Al Ewing and over in Sword, they have a good talent for strategic withholding of information.
Yeah.
Like we don't know, but what we do know is that everyone on this council is a powerful ass motherfucker because they don't let you on. Yeah, you don't get to be on there unless you're Omega. That's like prerequisite. Which the Quiet Council has a few Omegas, but it's not exclusive.
Exactly. It's not exclusive, but speaking of that, the Quiet Council is short a couple of seats because Jean Grey left because of the choices she made, and Apocalypse as well. So they try to fill those seats back up, but they want Jean and Scott to fill those seats. That gets into the other part of the story where Scott and Gina decided to hold elections to build the new X-Men team roster.
Yeah, they tell them, no, we don't want to be in the government. We want to be the X-Men.
Yeah, but really they are going to be in the government because they're going to be in the elected, not the selected government.
Yeah, well, Cyclops is still like the captain commander, so
yeah, he's still going to work for the government.
Isn't the government? They're just letting. It's like American Idol letting people vote.
Well, it's like they're talking about
American Idol is not the government.
Exactly.
It's like they're talking about in the last issue, like. This is interesting coming off the heels of a few weeks ago when they talked about how there were efforts to explicitly made to weed out the idea of the X-Men, that we don't want an unsanctioned mutant team. But that issue a few weeks ago was really cool, and Cyclops is like, no, we're doing it. And then like Professor X and Magneto were like, yeah, you stick it to us, Cyclops. That's awesome. But
it's all about the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making them one whole thing, feeling that unity. And I think that really does a good job. Man, all of this COVID comic book delays really missed out on a lot of synergy that it appears.
Yeah, they were hoping to have this during the election cycle, I'm sure.
Also, Ten of Swords would have made a beautiful contrast to the Olympics that were going on with all that.
Shit, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Ballroom dancing is a sport, Leroy, whether you want to hate on that shit or not. But yeah, this issue was good. All right. Cool dialogue, great characterizations, pushing the overall aftermath of Ten of Swords forward, even if it's just, the tiniest little bit.
Like, it speaks a lot to Hickman as a writer that this was basically the transition issue between Ten of Swords and whatever's coming next, and it was still a hell of a lot of fun to read.
Man, but all the stuff that he's leading to, you're right. Krakoa and Arakko coming together as nations as well as individuals, because they are people. Arakko and Krakoa are actually people. That's a weird sort of story that's being told there as a country actually comes together with another country with diplomacy, but also they're sentient beings that are trying. It was weird, man. And he did a great job. Noto did a great job with the art, with the vines coming away. The sequential art there was very well done. I'm hoping that these elections are the meat of X-Men, at least for a little while.
I'm looking forward to seeing the roster that comes out of this, because I'm sure it's going to be a weird one. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of people that we would not ever have thought would be on a team like this.
I want a recount. I want people forcing recounts. I want phone calls to
How did Mr. Sinister win Georgia? That doesn't make any sense.
Phone calls.
I just want 11,000 votes.
Yeah. I want underhanded campaigning and all that, dude. I want to meet these mutants. I want to meet these 20 times more mutants. I want to meet the Omega level mutants sitting on the council over there. There's so much here that could happen.
Yeah,
I really don't care about what is actually happening. I want, you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah,
here, dude. It kind of bugs me, but I can't help but love it. So that was everybody's number one except David's.
Yep. Sorry, I got to be difficult.
All right, let's hear it.
Be difficult.
All right,
we're wrapping with you.
The final issue of Bad Mother, number 5.
Oh, man. AWA.
AWA
had a great year in 2020.
They did.
Go ahead. How was it?
Just somebody tweeted me something. But yeah, this is the sit down between the two mothers. The mother who's wants to get her mother or daughter back, and the mother who the other mother has kidnapped the kid. And it's like, we're going to have an exchange. Basically, they have a sit-down dinner with like a dead man switch and everything, and it turns into a very violent after-dinner party.
So it's a Kill Bill. It's Kill Bill.
It's more like
that one scene in Kill Bill.
Not that one scene in Kill Bill, but it's more like
there are no death punches.
No death punches. No five palms of death or whatever it was.
5-finger death punch.
It's different.
The 5 steps, or the 5 where you walk 5 steps and you die.
Your heart explodes.
Yeah. But no, it's been a very like Liam Neeson's Taken kind of story to it, where
except this lady is just a regular house.
She's just a regular house mom, and
I can't. That's the problem I have with it.
I always thought that this lady was like ex special forces or something, because she's like making bombs and blowing up meth labs, and she makes like ammonium chlorine gas for.
She's just looking on the internet.
And she's just looking stuff up on the internet, and she has like gas mask hidden under the table, and she's like, "What does the mermaid do on the count of 3? Hold your breath."
It's weird,
but it's been this really great story that has made me like look forward to Krista Falk's next book, which is something coming up this year called Redemption, which is like this sci-fi western looking thing, and it looks pretty good. But
I'm still stuck on why a mermaid would need to hold her breath.
It was like a keyword that she was doing with her kid.
It was like when she was teaching her daughter how to swim. When you go underwater,
what the mermaid wouldn't need to hold her breath. She could just breathe.
Exactly. She was just doing it like as a game with her daughter when she was teaching her how to swim.
Okay.
And so when she unleashed the chlorine gas, she needed her kid to hold her breath, so she gave her this keyword. Again, it doesn't work. I get what you're saying, David, like Liam Neeson Taken, but this lady literally has no ability. She has no training.
It's everything she does. She either looks out or she just looks it up on the internet. Like one of the best moments in this book is early on.
I don't know about you, but all the mothers I know, they look up a lot of different stuff on the internet. They're looking up like anti-vax.
Yeah, it's anti-vax mom. Search.
Oh man, I think I spotted my
the COVID.
I forget who said my first QAnon people today.
I forget who said it.
There was somebody I was driving behind, and they had like a hashtag Save Our Kids emblazoned on the back of their van or SUV or whatever it was, and I'm just like, oh my, that's not good.
But as far as like the woman getting saved by luck or whatever, I forget who said it, but there was a quote I saw one time where like convoluted stuff to get your heroes into trouble is storytelling. Convoluted stuff to get your heroes out of trouble is cheating.
Yeah.
It's not satisfying if just sheer dumb luck is saving you over and over again.
And that's basically.
But I don't think it's. Well, like one of my favorite parts of this book, it's not just the dumb luck and stuff, but like one of my favorite parts of this book is when it opens up. The kidnapping mother has basically thrown the daughter in the back of a van, and the daughter somehow is like able to put the van in reverse and basically backs into somebody's car. And the guy's like, well, we got to call the insurance. And that the evil mother is like, no, we don't have to get the insurance involved. And the girl starts banging on the van. Is like, was somebody hurt? And the mother just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy, and it, like throws him in the van, puts the girl in the trunk of the car that was just hit, and drives.
It's a weird, crazy, silly action story, and it just didn't work for me. Sorry, David.
I'm sorry.
Fuck your book.
You should feel terrible about this, David.
Yeah,
I don't. Because you guys had a lot of crossover, and I had different stuff.
And that's true. That's true. Your very unique take. The art was great on it. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, Mike Deodato can do no wrong.
Sometimes a pick is obvious because it's right, though. Like being contrarian just for being contrarian isn't always worth it.
David don't read a lot of mainstream.
I appreciate David.
Yeah,
David is indie. He's indie watchdog. He gives me all the
that's true.
all the things that you get trades for.
Yeah, I don't venture enough outside of the big two. So
that's your resolution. Yeah,
that's right.
You're talking shit now. See, that's why you don't do it. Because David
sounds like I should not pick up.
You and David need to get together. You two need to form a team, like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Which one of us is Devil Dinosaur?
David, I'll be the dinosaur. Your head.
Hey, Moon Girl's like the smartest person in the world, so I'll take that. Yeah,
I know. I wish they'd do more with her, man.
But that's it. There you go. I just like fell flat. Train of thought there. Hello.
Good. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, or you're on Twitter. Find us on those other two platforms that you're not on. Search Outright Geekery. Like us over there. Follow us. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Outright Geekery.
Just $1 a month. That's just a tip, and we'll start giving shout outs.
Oh, yeah, we'll do shout outs.
For $5.
We'll say your name for $5.
I'll mispronounce your name for 10.
We got a bunch of other shows. We have this show every Sunday doing news and reviews. We also have our Monday night show, which I adore. The preview show. Lots of amazing stuff to talk about this week. New Star Wars book and Eternals finally drops. Plus so much more. Oh, come on. Eternals is going to be great.
I'm actually genuinely excited for the Star Wars book.
Nice.
Of all the Marvel stuff that's coming out this year for 2021, I'm actually excited for the Star Wars and the Alien book.
Sweet. Well, one of those comes out this week. We're going to talk about those releases tomorrow. Throughout the week, we got the Bullies on the Facebook page, Creators Corner with Big Willie, OK Boomer, 5-minute reviews, unboxings, all kinds of great shit happened on this channel. Do not miss it. Thanks everybody for listening, but most of all, thank you guys for hanging out with this guy and talking shit. Anytime. We're gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
That was a good one.
That was okay. I still think Jules is doing it better on the Monday night.